and welcome to today's webinar going on with our series of integration partners. Today we have Tom Bukorski with us. He's from 2020. So we're going to show you today how you can take your Envisioneer model that you've designed, like the one I have on my screen, the same one we've been using for the integration partners so far. And then we're going to show you how we can export that out. And Tom's going to take over and do his magic in 2020, show you all the features there. And then from there, we're going to bring it back into Envisioneer to show you how the two truly integrate back and forth from each other so you can use them together hand in hand. So to start off the presentation, I'll show you the space that we've designed and how we're going to export everything out. Following the presentation and after Tom's 2020 presentation, we're going to open up the chat panel. You'll notice on the right-hand side of your screen you have a GoToMeeting console, and it'll allow you to type in any questions that you might have. So as questions arise, type them in, and then we'll address them at the end of the webinar after we've shown you the full presentation. So let's get started. So as you can see on my screen, this is the same model if you've joined us in our other integration partner webinars. When we're drawing the walls, all of these walls have the ability to be exported out. So the space, I'm just going to grab a camera here and go inside. This is the interior space, a little walk around of what Tom's going to be working with and what we've sent him over as our export. From there, he's going to fill in that space with cabinetries and everything from there. But how do we get it out to 2020? If you go to the File pull-down menu, there you will see Export Options. Under our Export Options, you'll see 2020 Design, and it creates the XML file. When I pick on that option, it will want me to give it a file name. I'm going to type in the name 2020 for today and hit save. You'll notice instantly then, after I've typed in the name and clicked OK, my cursor changes. Notice that it looks like a hand with a plus sign. And down in the lower left-hand corner of my screen, notice how it says Select Items. We don't want to bring the whole model out to 2020. They don't need all of the walls and the roof and the ceilings and everything. We want to reduce what we bring over so it's a smaller file size for them. So this little hand allows me to pick on the walls that I feel are important to take out and send off to 2020. And that's telling me I'm selecting a door instead of that wall. So I'm just going to keep going along and selecting all of the walls that I feel that they'll need in 2020 to further the design. Again, you can select all of the walls. It doesn't limit you or maximize you on how many you send. Whatever you need to send over, you do. But if there are walls that aren't required, like the ones I have in the garage or out on the deck, don't send them over. Reduce that file size. The walls, as you select, you can see that they're all highlighting. So I can visually see which ones are going to be sent over. Once I'm finished with my selections, I simply right-click and hit Enter, and it will send that over. Now from there, I'm going to switch our screens over to look at Tom's screen, and Tom is going to show us what he is going to do with that file. So Tom, I am making you our new presenter.
Okay.
And welcome to Tom, everyone.
Just a little introduction. My name is Tom Bukorski. Been with 2020 as a sales rep for 25 years, product is probably maybe closer to 30 years old these days. But the primary difference that the 2020 program can provide to you is the ability to have the cabinet manufacturers that you deal with who have catalogs be able to integrate the catalog so that you can select it from this menu and place their items in your design. And we have a number of partner catalogs and things like that, which I have used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the XML file that Chantel provided, and then basically I'm going to go from that to a design that I created to show you. So on our side, you would go File, and you would go to Import from local storage, and then basically all you would do is click here to ask it the type of import that you want, in this case XML, And I'm going to grab, I hope I grab the right model here. Yep, it would be this one. Okay, it's asking me about inside and outside placement zones. In 2020, every wall has an inside and outside placement zone, so you can place cabinets or any types of shapes in just about any room that you want. I'm actually going to select the inside and the outside just so you can see what we get. Okay, so you can see it's pretty quick. The dotted areas that you see here are the placement zones that I referred to. Okay, you can see there's plenty of dimensions. That has to do with selecting the inside and or outside placement zone options. And any of those could be modified, hidden, or in some cases you can just go to another tab on our screen and select an image that has no dimensions on it at all as a definition, so it's much cleaner to work with. Okay, so that's how you get it in here. And then basically you go from there to your product catalog and you start designing your layout. Now, in the actual image that they sent me here, just to give you an idea, trying to find a file here. Okay. This was the actual image file that they sent over here. So basically, you can see this is the kitchen area here, and this is a great room here. So I kind of decided to integrate those two spaces together for a 2020 presentation, and then I'll kind of show you in the blank file how I got to that solution. So I'm just going to go here and pick export number 3, which is a design that I created. You can see I have a camera viewer. I can use the camera or not, but I prefer to work this way so that you can get an idea that 2020 can do walkthroughs, that it can do different things for you based on the types of outputs that you want to generate, in addition to being able to place your cabinetry in and produce quote. So I'm going to minimize this screen here so it's out of my way. And I'm going to turn on the highlighter in case I need it. And we're going to do a perspective view. So as you can see, I have the viewer set so it's looking down the hallway, and I can use the wheel on my mouse to kind of walk forward into the room, okay? And you can see I have a painting here, and I have a television over here, and I can kind of turn back and look at different aspects of the room. And again, as you turn and look, you can see different areas because you can design any room of the house with 2020. Okay, we'll give that a second so it renders through. Okay, and I can get much higher quality. I can get photo quality renderings with this program so that you can do really, really nice presentations. But if I turn back to this other area, okay, I'm probably too far on the one side here. Okay, you can see that here's a portion of my kitchen. I can move back and forth and look from different views. Okay, so again, I can zoom in and out. I chose to do a nice kitchen. Just to this is actually I'm a certified catalog creator for 2020. I build catalogs. And this is one of the cabinet lines that I build their catalog. They kind of semi-custom, so it gave me some nice options for customizing things to fit into spaces. And as you can see here, I've got a Sub-Zero refrigerator on this side. I have a Wolf double oven and warming drawer here, and I have a Wolf cooktop over here. The appliance comes from this particular appliance, okay? Comes from another appliance company catalog. Let me make sure what it is here. Okay, so as you can see, this is the actual image of the appliance. It's a KitchenAid. Okay, so we have a number of supporting companies that have appliance catalogs that load into the program, able to take that catalog and actually insert the shapes into the manufacturer's cabinetry and things like that. Okay, I have lots of choices for countertop colors. And, again, the primary function of 2020, giving you an idea of a cabinet manufacturer's catalog. You're designing with their SKU, with their modifications and options. And as you add those modifications and options, it basically details all of that for quoting and ordering purposes. Okay? So just giving it a second to kind of finish rendering. This little toolbar pops up when you're done, okay? Because these are your setting change options. If you want to change the floor or ceiling color, if you want to alter the lighting in the room, okay? So you could actually tell it you want to see sunlight through the windows, or there's a ceiling light, whether you want to use it or not, or using the ambient light that is available. Ambient light in the program is light that comes from windows and doors and things like that. Okay, so it has all kinds of real-time capabilities for showing your designs. Okay, all right, so let's just look at a few more things related to this particular floor plan layout that I did here. Okay, and again, there's a GE appliance right here as a dishwasher and so on. Okay, so you can do any room of the house. There's fixtures. You can import shapes from the Google SketchUp warehouse, or if you have AutoCAD 3D shapes, they all import into the program. And I just want to go through a couple of different options here just to give you an idea of door styles, colors, and things like that, and options. You can always look at your item list at any time. Okay, so these are all the detailed items that are in the quote. If you have additional parts or pieces that will be the same door style and color, you could actually just grab those. Let's say it's like a vanity. You have a vanity or two that you want to place in the design. You could actually drop the vanity right into this area, okay, and it will become part of the quote. You can see also that it details what catalog used, okay, what the item is. And just to give you an idea of a modification, line number 7 right here is a drawer base 18, and this is a finished end on the right-hand side of the cabinet. Okay? If I was to do a finished interior, then it would detail every little part and piece of the finished interior option for the cabinet line. Okay? Under the Items tab here, there's lots of tools that we use. The surface item here, you could generate your own floor area. So as an example, I can create a surface area here, and I can use this on a wall and generate tile. Okay, right now that's just a tile pattern. I could actually go in and find a fabric and make that look like a piece of rug. Or I can import the color of the rug from an outside source that I found on the internet and apply it to this item. Okay, so you could actually come in, you could find crazy things, relatively nice looking things. In some cases it could be crazy patterns and things like that, but it will change to that. And the next picture view that I do, and as I walk into the room and look kind of down in that area, you could see that that appears as a piece of rug on the floor with the pattern that I chose. Okay? 2020 is real time. I'm going to move the viewer so we're not playing around too much here, and we'll come back into this view. So let's say I wanted to do a modification of an item. I could actually do it right from the picture. So if I double click on that cabinet right there, it actually opens the edit window so I could add modifications. Okay, so you can see I added the finished interior option with a beaded back. It shows a beaded back in the cabinet. Okay, whatever I choose graphically, it's going to show me in the design layout as I do it. And when I click OK, and you see all the modifications right here. There's the finished interior upgrade, there's the charge for the mullion doors, and there's just a little note from the manufacturer that they do not include glass. When I click OK, you can see it changes the picture automatically, real time. And real time in the floor plan, the cabinet has been modified automatically. I do not have to go into the floor plan and do anything. That cabinet is ready to go. It's ready to be priced. Okay? So if I go back to the item list that I was showing you earlier, and we look through the list, we will find that cabinet with its modifications. Here it is down here. Okay, so line 36 was that wall cabinet. There's the finished interior code. There is the mullion door code and the no glass note that was on the cabinet. So you can see everything is real time when you use the program. Okay. Let's go to styles and pricing. This is basically how you set up your quotes. And what's unique is that you could actually make a duplicate copy of your catalog. In this case, it's called 4A, signature 4A. 4B allows me to actually, because I distribute a copy of 4B. So if you use 2020, you take a catalog that you've installed from your cabinet manufacturer, you use the catalog tools to rename it as an alternate name, and you reinstall the catalog under its real name. What that allows you to do is place cabinets in the design from both sets. It's the same duplicate catalog. So now you've got cabinets that might be the main body of the kitchen here that you can pick a door style and color for, and you can have an elaborate island that you've designed with the B version of the catalog, and you've picked an alternate wood species and color for that. So it easily allows you to two-tone a kitchen. And from this menu, you would see the signature B catalog listed here, and you would go through and pick everything that you need. So catalog styles allows you to pick your door style and your color, any upgrade options like full extension guides for the whole job. I would just click there, and it's now altered the kitchen so that every cabinet that has a drawer, it will now come with a balloon guide, and it will price that into the job. Or if I have a specialty finish up charge, okay, then I would go into there. You know, bourbon is a standard finish. If it was a paint or a custom finish, then I would pick the finish up charge so that that would appear in the quote. Okay? The price level tab here allows you to go in and pick the price point for that particular door style you chose and any alternate comparative doors that you might want to choose. Maybe they want to see, well, what's the price if I do this in cherry and a full overlay or a cherry and a traditional overlay? So I can give them the two price points on one quote for that job. It also allows me to provide a selling discount so that the quote that I produce is automatically the price I would sell it to that customer. Okay? All right, so once you've got that part of it done, okay, you can go to reports and you can start looking at information related to your quotes. Chantel,
Yes.
did you happen to find the email? You didn't find that email.
I did. I contacted IT, and I do have a copy of it now, and it's all set, ready to go to import.
Okay. I was just thinking it'd be nice for you to have the file when we're ready to go back to that.
I have it. It's all set to go.
Okay. So basically, here's the quote. Okay, and you can see the 2-column pricing now, where it's showing again every detail. Here's that cabinet with the finished interior with a beaded back and mullion doors. I've got cabinets that have finished ends listed on them, okay, or flush finished ends, depending on what I want to use, okay, and so on. So this basically gives you a complete quote, detailed out, showing discounts. Here's the upgrade for the Bloom full extension guides for the cabinets that are in the design, okay. Sensio lighting, I didn't mention that. We'll go back to that, and I'll show that to you in a little bit. Sensio is a lighting catalog where you can do above the cabinet, below the cabinet, in the cabinet lighting. And it produces, it has its own report to tell you what you need to order, what the parts and components are, and it will produce a price, okay? And this is actually sold by Liberty Hardware out of the Carolinas. Okay, but its pricing capabilities right through 2020. And then basically you can see it shows the total here, but I didn't go in and alter that so it would show the total in both columns. But you can see it gives me complete pricing. Now, let's say I have two-toned the kitchen and I use 2 different catalogs. Then you would see a complete list for each of the product lines. It would be separate pages, just like Sensio is a separate page for the quote, okay? And it would subtotal everything right here so you knew the difference between the two, okay? And then you could make adjustments from that standpoint on your quotes, okay? Another report that I always like to show customers is this one here called the item list. And the reason I like this, if you do semi-custom or custom cabinets where they require finished ends and things of that nature, or you've customized the size of the cabinet, this has some really interesting details on it that can work for you as a cross-reference to make sure you've included all the parts and pieces in your kitchen. It's acting a little bit slow. Okay, so on this report, okay, you can see I did some modifications. Well, in this case, I have a cross-grain panel on my island, and this is showing me the customized size of that panel, okay? So anything that you change the size on within your product line, if you come to this report, it will show you the details of what you've done, okay? The other important thing on this report is this column out here on the right. So this one here, you see this drawer base 30-2, it's telling me that cabinet needs a finished end on the right-hand side, okay? And so the next line actually should be a modification, like see how this one is here, okay? The drawer base 15, I did a flush finished end on the left-hand side. So this one I did correctly, this one I did not. So that's a reminder to me that I need to go back and add a finished side to this cabinet. Okay, so this tells you what side of the cabinet needs finished, left, right, or both sides, and then you can cross-reference as to whether or not you actually did it right from this page on this report. If you didn't do, you just go to the floor plan and you make the modification. So the drawer base 30-2, I'm going to close this. That's this cabinet here. And again, one of the things I did to show you here is that we can generate legend rather than having all the nomenclature kind of laying over top of each other. I can look, and there's the drawer base 30-2. It's line number 3 or item number 3. So I can double click on that. See that this side here is exposed and it's gray. If I hit the right angle when I was looking at my picture, that would have been a telltale sign I forgot to do the modification. Okay? So in this case, you go to add-ons, you go into the company's modifications, and you add whatever finished end option you want. In this case, I'm going to do a flush finished end right. And it added, changed the color, leaves the color of the other side alone. Okay? So those are different parts and pieces. And again, the legend is here. It drew my countertops. Well, what if I want to check the spacing in the room? If I have the right walk spaces and things like walking through this area right here or right here, I can go into my annotations page and I can do line-to-line dimensions. That would give me from a line here to a line here to show me the dimension between these items, okay? Or I can use aligned dimensions, which is from the corner of one object to the corner of another. So I can go through and check my space and see what the walk space looks like around the room in case I have to make adjustments, okay? So let's say I want to move this so that this spacing is 36 inches, okay? I can grab the island, kind of highlighted here, and we have a little menu on the screen called Placement. And you'll notice the island is in the center of that button, okay? So the button down here at the bottom, this is Move, this is Place, so there's different things that you could do with this menu. And this particular case, I'm going to move this 1 15/16 to the right. Any day. It's working on it.
It's a lot of data that I sent over and that you're adding to it, so the file size
Yeah, I've added a lot of data to it.
And everyone as well. When you're working on your own.
Oh, I know why.
And we're
I know why.
To slow it.
I'm sorry. I know why. I have my rendering open still.
Ah.
So it's trying to do this and change the rendering all at the same time. So let me close that. That might speed things up a little bit. There we go. So I moved that to the right, and it's 36 inches. Now, if I want to move this up 1 inch, I would just change my offset in the placement box 1 to 1 and move it up 1 inch. Okay? So you can easily move around a single item or groups of items, you know, and get exact measurements with it as you do it. It'll get there. Okay. Some other unique things with the Annotate tab, you know, you can add notes, okay? In most cases, that would just be a floor plan note. If you're doing a modification to a cabinet size-wise, like I've done here, I modified this cabinet size-wise to match the depth of that end of that wall. So you can see the depth is set at 20 inches. Well, I would add a note here to let the manufacturer know depth changed to 20 inch. Okay? That note will appear in the quote right underneath the line item for that cabinet. Okay? Along with the modification to do the for the proper charge. Okay. These tools here can be used for a number of different things. Some of them are kind of unique. I drew toe kick under here. Okay, so you know this line here is for the toe kick that is in the island. But let's say I wanted to do furniture toe molding. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see a little bit better. I could do a running line, and I could start right here and just run this. Oop, that was line. Do running line, And I can basically start this around the island. Okay, when I'm all done, I just right-click on the line that I drew. It's just like I drew a line on the floor with a ruler and a pencil. But now I can edit it and make it a 3D shape. And I'm going to go into my toe base. Find the right catalog here. You can see I've got lots of catalogs in here with all the product lines that are available. Okay, I can get toe base and I can get furniture toe, baseboard, as an option around that particular cabinet. Okay, when you go and look at the view, and again, we'll just swing this around. We'll drop it over here. And we'll change the eye level for you. And view from that location. Okay? Now, you see what's happening here, okay? That is a different color than the other cabinets. I don't know if you noticed, but I picked Signature B as the catalog to use for this baseboard molding, and that's why it's a different color. So if I go back to Items, Styles and Pricing, I pick Signature B, and I go and change that to Bourbon, which was the color of the other products. You can see that it's changed it automatically. Okay? All right. You can do any room of the house. You know, I showed you this living room area here. I did a presentation one time where they were doing, working with a, like an office furniture company, and I put a conference table in the room. I put laptops and mice on the tabletops. I had a projector in the ceiling, and then I had a board on the wall that looked like it was projecting that image onto the wall. And you know, and then there were conference chairs all around the table. So you could draw just about any type of space that you need to with the 2020 program, even just with the native products that come with the program. Okay, and also we'll open this while we're talking about this other stuff. I'll just do this kind of on the side, and we'll go into show you all the supporting catalogs that are available that you have access to with the 2020 program. Okay, so this is all information that was native to 2020. I didn't bring, aside from the appliances and things like that, which are part of the catalog offerings that are available. You can go in and download any of these specialty catalogs that we offer as part of the free downloads. And so I'm not forgetting, because they'd shoot me. Over here, the 2020 Cloud. I almost forgot about this. Okay? I'm talking about these free catalogs. Come on, it won't let me move that. Okay? We have this thing here. We have a kind of a forum type area called the 2020 community. You create, it's free to anybody who wants to join. You basically go out there and you sign up, and within your 2020 software you can do the same sign up. When you do that, basically this menu becomes active inside your 2020 program, and there are catalogs available that you can choose from the cloud. Okay, basically streaming shapes right from the 2020 program right here. And any of those that are check marked, let's say I'm looking for a wood or some type of hood from the product lines that I have, I could do a search for the word hood. Come on. Didn't I select anybody who has one? There we go. Okay. So, item name. Okay, these are all the different things from the Thermador appliance catalog. So I would check mark the catalogs that I wanted it to do a search, and then I could search for a hood, and it would find those hoods for me. Let me bring this over. Okay, so anything that was available within the search would come up in the list so that I could grab it and drag it right into my design. Okay, so you have cloud storage and streaming of those appliance companies that we have out on our website. You could either download them from the website, or you could use the 2020 cloud as a way to get to them also. Okay, so how do you start? I'll just do a couple more minutes here on how you start with 2020 and how it draws. Basically, you just take a spot on the tablet, very similar to the way you do with Cadsoft. You click, you type in the dimension of the wall, and you keep going. If you want to do an angle, you just pull the mouse at that angle, you type in the length of the wall, and you keep going, and so on. Okay? When you're all done, you can place your windows and doors, openings and obstacles. We've got cutouts for the walls and different things like that. You go to the Items tab. You've got all these little buttons here. The countertop drawing tools in 2020 are really, really nice. You know, just to give you a quick example, I'm just going to throw a few things on here so you could see, and I'll even make it a little bit more difficult for it and do something with angles. Okay, and if I go to countertops and trim, I really like this menu. I basically can check mark the things that I wanted to draw. Top and bottom moldings aren't necessary at this point because I just only have base cabinets in here. You pick the catalog that you want the item to come from, and then you pick the model that the item will be that you place in the design. When you click Add, it puts them all in at the same time. It calculates the number of pieces that you need for your quote automatically. So you can see it automatically drew the countertop to match the shape exactly for what I did. And it was very simple, and it's very quick. Okay? As far as countertop colors go, there's lots of things built in, or you would get some of these other things from our other catalogs. So if you come in here and work surface, furniture laminates, there's Arborite, Belanger, Formica, Nevermar, Wilson Art. There's Sherwin-Williams paint colors built in here, okay? If I go to solid surface, I've got Corian, Fountainhead, Sorel, Caesarstone, okay? And then there's a few others here in the pattern library. There's some Gibraltar, some Wilson Art there. In stone, there's granite, there's marble, and so on, okay? You don't see a color that you like, you can use the custom material button in the wizard, bring that colored JPEG in from where you've got it stored on your computer, and apply it to the countertop, apply it to the wall. Whatever you're looking to do, you know, it's customizable. Okay, I'm going to bring this over here for a second. Okay, this is the 2020 support site. Okay, and I just wanted to, oh, there's a brand new catalog right here that I've not seen on here before, but you can see Thermador was just updated recently. Constantino just added this one. Decton was added earlier, well, last week. week before. Sensa and Silestone had been available, but this Decton is a new version of the new catalog. There's U.S. Marble, but you can see all the different catalogs are available. These are free downloads, okay? And it's very unique how it works, okay, because you're integrating those products in your design, and you can get really nice information. Let me go find GE, because this one has some special features in it that I really like. Let me look through the list. There's GE. Okay, so if I go into, let's say, refrigeration, built-in, French door style, right-click specs. There's the appliance dimensions and the rough-in requirements for the appliance. That is built right into their catalog for all of their appliances. Okay? Even the cabinet catalog, some of the cabinet catalogs that I do, they have that same type of feature built in for their products for the cabinets or their price book page or something like that. So there's lots of really interesting things that could be done with the 2020 program. Okay? So, wood product catalogs, you're looking like Inkable, White River, Art for Every Day, Abswood Feet and Legs, Osborne Wood Products, Grand River Products. You have lighting catalogs, the Sensio lighting catalog, there's Revishelf lighting. Task lighting is going to be done shortly, and you can see right here, here's edge lighting. Okay? Ironing board centers. This is a neat little catalog. It doesn't have many shapes, but you could actually open the ironing board center and the light inside will turn on. Okay? So different pieces of information and things that you could do. And I just want to do a little bit of a close-up here. Let me raise this up. And this is the last thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to open this up for questions. Besides sending the XML back to Chantel. So I'm going to look at the rendering from here. And I just want to see, want you to see on the left side here on the countertop, you see this little light mark here. That is from a Sensio light that's underneath this cabinet. Okay? And they come in the form of either a puck light or a strip type light. Okay? Now, to send this back to Chantel, what I would do is I would then go back to my file export feature. I used import to bring it in. I'm going to use export to send it out. Do I have something else open? Oh, it put it over here. Okay. Basically, I would pick the XML format to send it back to her. Okay. And then I would click Save. I'm just going to make this B. I would tell it Save, and then I would go to my Cadsoft software and open up that feature. So, Chantel, if you want to take back control and show how that works.
Wonderful. Well, thanks, Tom. That was very informative, and I think everybody learned a lot from that. So what I'll do now is I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to make myself the presenter, and we'll go from here. So now looking over on my side, what Tom has done is he's added in, you can see in the space in our great room and in our kitchen area, he's added in all of that furniture and all the cabinetry. So now I want to bring it back and add it back into my design. I recognize some of you in our audience today, and I know some of you work hand in hand with different parts of your company. You have one person designing, and I know you're using kitchen design software, so this is how you'll be able to talk back and use it with your 2020. So I'm going to come back here to the File pull-down menu, and I'm going to go to our Import Options. And then under our Import Options, you'll see 2020 Design Import. It then wants me to go out onto my hard drive and find that. I found it on my hard drive. All I have to do when I find it is click Open. And when it's finding that file and opening that file for me, it's going to load all of the 2020 objects that it's found from the file that Tom has sent me. You'll remember there was quite a few different items that he drew in his, so it could take a little bit of time to load those in, especially right now in this type of environment where we're also using GoToMeeting, because we're broadcasting and doing this all live and coming through you streaming. It's taking up some of my screen resources, as it was Tom's, and things were working maybe a little bit slower. So it's going to take a little bit of time, but as you can see, now it comes up with a screen and says, well, how do I want to import those objects that he created in 2020? We have the automatic placement option, and that allows it to go directly into where it came from. It recognizes the walls that I exported, and now it says, okay, now how am I going to bring them back in? Can I recognize those and bring them automatically back to that same spot? But it can also do a custom placement. The custom placement would recognize that I want to use that option because some of the things in the design changed after I exported it. We may have moved some walls around, we may have added a couple walls in, so it's no longer relevant to put it in the exact spot. So you might want to use a custom. Or if, oops, we're not ready, you can just hit cancel. I'm going to use automatic placement and hit insert. And then you can see all of his items on my floor plan are all in there. And if I go back into our 3D model, they're all there as well, and I can select any of them, move them around. So if I wanted to move that coffee table around, I can just pick it up and move it wherever I want it to go. Perhaps there's something with these chairs. They're all going to be individual items for you. So if you want to hide or delete or change any of them, you can. I say change, but I mean under limited changes. You won't be able to change any of the cabinet content. So if I look at the properties of this cabinet that Tom sent over, it's going to be one full block. I won't have all of the same options, obviously, as you have in 2020 to further refine that cabinet. But you can come in here if you wanted to and change the appearance to any of the different materials that you can load in from our software as well. So you still have that ability to maybe do some updating, some moving around, but as far as getting into that intricate cabinet design that Tom was doing over there, that's why you have the 2020 software over there. You're going to do it over there. So if you get it over here, realize something's got to change, just go back, update it, and send it right back over. You can see how quick and seamless that import-export process was. So that is bringing in the model. You can see I'll walk around so you can see a little bit more of it here. We're able to directly share all of those items, pick on them, change them, and give you that full design so that if you're working together with someone else, now you've got that ability to really profile everything about the design, not just the one aspect of it. Work directly with the entire team that's working on the project so they can see everything about the design that they're working on. What I'd like to do now is answer any questions you have about that integration with 2020, questions about 2020 and how it works. So I have some questions already been chatted to me. I'll go with those to start off with. But for those of you that have questions, now's your time to type them out so that we'll be able to read those out, and either Tom and I can answer them for you. The first question that was chatted to me during the presentation, Tom, was about pricing updates. You showed the pricing that came with certain products. They're wondering about pricing updates. If a manufacturer, I'm assuming what they mean, if they change their prices, how do you update your pricing?
Okay, one of the things unique about 2020 is that when you buy the program from us, we do not provide you with cabinet lines that basically you sell. The way you get those catalogs is twofold. You either have a direct purchase account with a manufacturer, or you have a purchase account through local distribution. So let's use KraftMaid as an example. You buy KraftMaid directly from the manufacturer. You just call up their customer service and say, hey, I bought 2020, where will I get your catalog? And they will tell you, they basically provide you a link and download information on how to do that, and then how to install it into your 2020 program. If you don't buy direct and you buy through, let's say, Ferguson Enterprises, okay, they sell KraftMaid. They, if you buy from them, naturally they're going to provide you with the craft-made catalog that you can load into your own 2020 design. Okay? Anytime an update occurs, it's coming from them. So you don't have to worry about that aspect of it related to the 2020 software. The only thing that, the primary function of our maintenance contract is basically providing you with free upgrades to the software during the year, because our contracts go year to year. So all your upgrades are free. All the access to the support website that I was showing you where those free downloads are, I said that there's a brand new catalog right there at the top of the list. Any customer that's on support can go and download that catalog right now. That's part of the maintenance contract. There's 2 sets of free training videos on the support site also to teach you how to use the 2020 program.
Perfect. Great. So that's a great answer. Nice and full answer. Thank you, Tom. Next question that came in is, what about other elements? If I had added a wall in 2020, can that be brought over? I can answer that part for us on our end. If you look at our wall structures and the things that we put into our walls, if I just double click on one just to bring up a quick example, with Cadsoft Envisioneer, we have a lot of information behind the walls. That's the forte of our software, is building that model, that intelligent building model. So bringing over the walls, it wouldn't have all the framing data that you would need, the trim and the quantitative items that we add for drywall and the nails and all of that construction part of the software. So you would lose out, and that's why we don't bring over any walls. The things that you're going to bring over from 2020 are your actual elements. Like you can see the sofa and the table and the cabinetry and all of those items. But the actual construction of the walls, the windows, the doors, they're better suited to build here so that you're getting that data from them. Okay.
Yeah, and if you notice the import that I brought in, the windows and doors were already present.
Yes. Yes. Okay. That seems to be all of the questions that we have. So I just want to hold the line for another minute just in case someone does have a question that they do want to ask. Right now, type them in. While we're waiting for those last minute questions, I do want to remind you that our Integration Partner Week continues. We'll have our SketchUp and SketchFab integration partners coming up. See your newsletter or our website for registration details if you haven't already registered. And you can do that right up to a few minutes before the webinar. It's always a good thing to register for the webinars so that you get the follow-up information. We are taping today's broadcast. So if there was something in Tom's presentation that you wanted to see again, just maybe show it to the rest of your team to say, hey, look at this great little tool, look at everything he did. I am taping it, and it will be on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to check that out later and share it. So I will be sending out a link to that following our presentation as well. But Tom, that does seem to be all of our questions today. So I really want to thank you for taking the time out to show 2020 software to the Cadsoft clients. I'm sure everybody really appreciated today's demonstration. It was excellent. I learned a lot myself. So thank you, Tom, for your time. And thank you, everyone, for joining us as well.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Tom. Okay, thanks, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again at our next Integration Partner Week. Thanks. Bye-bye.